Do we have the Canterbury Rams here yet? Oh, Caleb Harrison, Canterbury Rams. Please come forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me and taking the time. When I put the submission in, there was some unknown things that I think we've received a positive result. So we've been working hard with Basketball New Zealand on bringing the Tall Blacks to play a World Cup qualifying game to Christchurch on the 29th of November, with the budget being approved for Metro. The result of it, I believe, is that the scoreboard and the court that's required for a FIBA Level 1 game is going to be purchased. Steve Gibbling has been fantastic to work with. The only unknown thing is when the floor and the scoreboard is going to be purchased. With the Tall Blacks game on the 29th of November, Basketball New Zealand will need to work with the equipment to make sure the equipment is up to speed. So if there's any way to expedite that pre-purchase of the scoreboard from that Metro budget, that would be really helpful. The other thing we have in the background is we're trying to bring the New Zealand Breakers back to Christchurch to play both pre-season and regular season games. With basketball booming, we think it's really unfortunate that there hasn't been elite international basketball being played in Christchurch. So our organisation's doing anything we can to bring these games to the city, and it just really comes down to whether we have an arena and a facility that's up to speed for those kind of games. The New Zealand Breakers require a FIBA Level 1 arena as well, and the floor's been purchased, so the only thing that's stopping bringing the Breakers here is the scoreboard. So any way to get that scoreboard signed off in the next couple of weeks would be really useful in trying to attempt to bring both the Breakers here in September and October and solidifying that Tall Blacks game here the 29th of November. But yeah, really positive news. When I put the submission forward, I was unsure whether that budget was going to be approved. It's since been approved, and it's looking likely from the communications with Steve that the scoreboard will be signed off and purchased within the coming weeks. So yeah, more words of encouragement, and thank you very much for all the support the city gives basketball, and trying to bring international basketball so our kids can see it, and hopefully one day aspire to be Tall Blacks and Tall Ferns. Thank you.
Excellent. Any questions? Aaron?
Yeah, any idea who the Tall Blacks game's against at this point? It's
going to be Asia qualifier, like predicting it because the qualifiers are in June, so it's unknown, but it could be a country like Lebanon. Right. The really exciting thing is the TV. All of these qualifying games get broadcast in Asia, so China is obviously the big market. If it is Lebanon, that's a good TV market. So having a game here in Christchurch will be really good, working with the council on how can we profile the city, and how can we make more people in Asia aware that Christchurch is a destination city now.
And the big question on especially every kid's lips is any chance Adams will be playing?
Unfortunately not, because the November game will be during the NBA season, so we're going to miss out there. Maybe there's a possibility he plays in the June window, but Christchurch hasn't got that. The good thing about this is we're going to potentially get 1 to 2 Tall Blacks games every year. So when Steve does decide to play, there's a good chance that we'll have him here in Christchurch, which will be unbelievable.
Tim?
I just want to thank you guys, because the Pioneer, we have the primary schools play, and you've got from decile 1 to decile 10 schools all together. It's really cool. So, and this is going to be such a boost for them, so thank you very much.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Wait a minute, Yanni's got a question. I don't think you're getting a wealth lightly. Nor are we.
I was just trying to understand. So, yeah, and great, and thanks. Repeat what others said. You know, it's fantastic the work you're doing, and really exciting. When we get the scoreboard, obviously Horncastle would be where you'd get the big attendance. But if it just goes to Metro Sport, is that the best place for it, or are people like Canterbury Rams? Is that where they're basically going to be playing once Metro Sports comes on board?
Metro will be the best place for the Canterbury Rams to play because of the capacity. 2,500 to 3,000 is about what our market is right now. The price tag on Horncastle is far too expensive. We're taking one Rams game to Horncastle and it's going to cost us $20,000. We're really lucky because the Christchurch Casino has underwritten that game. So we've been able to do that this year. But the Rams' plans are to play at Metro. The Tall Blacks games will need to be played at Horncastle though, because the FIBA Level 1 arena has to be at least 3,000 seats. So it makes sense to play the Tall Blacks or the international games at Horncastle. And then it makes sense for the Rams to play at Metro with maybe 1 or 2 games at Horncastle a year. But Metro seems like a really good fit for our market. I mean, we're trying to grow it. Hopefully we get to a point where basketball can attract 7,000 to 8,000 people at a domestic level, because the participation rates would indicate that's the kind of demand. But the participation rates are not quite yet matching the bums and seats. So I think it's just a matter of seeing these kids go from kids to lifelong participants of basketball, and then they'll become parents, and then they'll take their kids along to games. So I think over time, the demand for basketball is definitely increasing.
Thanks.
Thank you. Right. Well, thank you very much for your submission.
Great.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Cheers.